I'd like to thank President Daggett, who's not here, Dennis, Wilbur, I lost track, Wilbur, Mr. Baker, Jim Paler, Alan Robb, for letting me speak here today. I'd like to also thank my 10-year-old daughter, Juliana. She made the trip. Now I'm kind of happy she didn't come to hear me speak today. She's at the pool. She puts up with countless phone calls. She puts up with a lot of interrupted time we have together. She automatically assumes it's Dennis or Alan. The other day she asked me, do you guys ever solve problems or do you just have them? I think we just have most of them. But I want to thank her. She makes me a better person, and she makes it easy being a dad. It's an honor to speak here today. Thank you. It's an honor to speak here today. This is my first international convention. 4 years ago, I spoke at the ACD convention, and I was supposed to speak this Thursday at Mike's convention, at the next ACD convention. That was last week. I wasn't able to make it. The plane got canceled, but we tried our hardest. We were 30 hours at the airport, me and my 10-year-old daughter, but we gave it a shot with Mike's daughters, so it was an interesting experience. This international convention it's special to me, not only because it's the first one I'm speaking at, or the fact that Stevie and Dennis really had to break Mac's chops to get me to speak here. It's my 8th year at the USMX. It's my 2nd master contract. And I'm 8 years as the co-chair of the jurisdiction committee and 5th year as the co-chair of the mini IAC. It's special because of the relationships I've made with the people in this room. I was asked recently, do I enjoy what I do? I said, I love what I do. I respect and enjoy the people I work with and for. I truly love this industry and the people that make it up. It's at its core a relationship business built on the hard work that everyone here does. The relationships I've made on the management side are special to me. Dave and the rest of the management team, John Nardi, Joe Ragusa, Jim Mara, Anthony and Vince Marino. I said Anthony first on purpose. Jason Winter, you guys teach me a lot, and everybody else who I've forgotten, and you bring a lot of integrity to this business. I left somebody out, and I left her out on purpose. I left Anissa out. She is the person I work closest with, and she keeps me grounded most of the time, and usually we have opposing views. She constantly asks me, does she make a difference? I'll tell you what, she makes the biggest difference in this room on our side. She watches all the funds that you guys had. She was instrumental in the newly negotiated MPP and creating it, and she's very passionate about how everybody in this room is going to be able to retire. All you have to do is stop her in the hall and talk to her. I think she should be applauded for the hard work she puts in that goes unnoticed. My relationships on the union side run pretty deep, too. I have a long relationship with Dennis and Harold. My career started at a maintenance company in New York and New Jersey. Dennis and I have a relationship that goes beyond many years we have worked together. It goes beyond the admiration I have for his work ethic, his knowledge of the industry, and his strength in never pretending he knows everything. It's his leadership abilities. I remember a conversation we had in an office trailer a long time ago. We spoke about one day we'd be negotiating a master contract. He got up here first, but now we have 2 of them together under our belts. I can't work so closely with somebody and not call them my friend. He's never asked me in all the years I've known him to compromise my moral values. We have only respected each other and expected honesty and truth in our beliefs. Our friendship is never contingent on us agreeing with each other. There's not anything more I can expect with someone I work with. I will tell you one story. A year ago, we had a jurisdiction committee scheduled in Charleston. I had surgery. Some people know what the surgery was. It's a little embarrassing. But I wasn't able to fly. The doctor wouldn't clear me, so I told him, we're not going to make anybody change their plans. I'll jump on the train and we'll go. He said, no problem. He booked the train ticket. He said, I can't let you take the 12-hour train ride alone. That's the type of friend and man Dennis Daggett is. So after that gesture of kindness, kind of beat us up at the jurisdiction committee for the next couple of days, which also speaks volumes for you guys, who he represents out here. I never expect anything more than that honesty and respect when it comes to our work. I wanted to thank him because part of my love for the industry gets to be dealing with him on the other side of the table. And I love his passion, which coincides with my passion for the people we represent, and it's given me a friend. Stevie Knott I have a long relationship with also. My admiration for him has only grown as I work closer at the USMX and the classy way he conducts himself both professionally and personally. Alan Robb, what can I say? A man of great faith. He's never at a loss for words and always ready to negotiate for what he believes in. It's a pleasure to work with you and to know you personally. Jim Paler, your tenacity and conviction for which you go after what you believe in or what is a just cause is appreciated and respected by everybody you deal with. Wilbur Rao, it is my pleasure to be around a man who is never afraid to tell someone they are wrong. You were either right or wrong, and Wilbur is never afraid to say either. He has an integrity that never bends. Mr. Baker, you're a gentleman. I wish I had more dealings with you. Harold's not here, but I left him for last. He constantly reminds me or yells at me that he's old school. He misses the times when all you needed was a handshake. I could tell you from my dealings with Harold over the years, the only thing old school about Harold, besides the songs that he listens to, is nothing. He's progressive. He's very forward-thinking. He may not be able to express himself the way everybody thinks he should, but I could tell you he's light years ahead of how he sounds sometimes, and it's an honor. It's like challenge. It's like dealing with him. I really appreciate it. We all realize the importance of the technology language that was negotiated and how productivity is the best weapon against it. This is another example of how Harold's both old and new school thinking comes into play. Because it was Abraham Lincoln who said the best way to predict your future is to create it. That's what Harold and the executive officers are doing for you guys out there. They are fighting your threat of technology with you being the most important productive piece of equipment on the waterfront. Remember, there is always room for improvement. Do not be short-sighted. You can never be too productive. Productivity, we've been talking a lot about ship size and moves an hour. It goes for the checkers and everything that you guys do. It goes for the mechanics and the repairs and everything you're doing. And it goes to every longshoreman. Productivity is just not at the ship, it's everywhere where we do business with. Right? Let's set the table and make everybody's jobs easier in 2024. I'm not going to go over a whole bunch of statistics or give the state of the industry, which we've heard a lot about the last several days. I'd like to go over some of the things that the International and USMX have done to help make things a little better for us. The Jurisdiction Committee has been active up and down the coast for the last 7 years. Settling of these disputes under the existing contracts always aids to help the next negotiations so these issues do not fester and become problems for the next bargaining. We will be coming out with rules and procedures this year to more formalize the process for being able to call the Jurisdiction Committee. I would like to first encourage and say to everyone in this room, both labor and management, it's always better to settle your differences locally. Keep everything local as best you can. I know there's several ports out there where every issue is deadlocked, no matter what the issue is. I would like to take the time to say to each of those sides, take the first step, settle your grievances, do the right things for the right reasons. Stand up for what is right, and let's start building the trust back in those ports. Let us let everyone, including the shippers, know that we are here to move cargo efficiently and our differences will not affect the movement of cargo. We can work through our disagreements, settle our issues, and continue to do jobs productively while we work through our grievances. There will always be grievances and disputes. We need to work through them as they happen. We should not let doing the right thing be a politically motivated decision on each side. I could tell you this, especially on the Jurisdiction Committee. That committee is dedicated to doing what is right, no matter what or who it affects. And my goal would be for every LIGC committee to do the same thing. The grievance machinery is there, so we have a vehicle to settle disputes and misunderstandings while we continue to work. Dennis and I believe, and I hope you still believe, most of our differences are better settled by us and not an arbitrator. I don't think there's anybody that knows our business better than us, and we should not let outside parties settle our differences. We all know that we need each of us to survive. Right? And it is a give and take game. I hope we all take that approach no matter what. I heard the saying several times, no is a complete sentence. But I always ask, what's next? There always must be movement and there always must be compromise. In 2016, the mini IAC was created. The purpose was to have a smaller group similar to Jurisdiction Committee to settle deadlock grievances. We're going to be coming out procedures again by the end of this year on how to get the mini IAC to settle some of the local deadlock grievances. Our goal is to make sure your grievances are heard and brought to resolution. My hope is there's never a need to call these committees, but if they are, we will settle them quickly, because I believe a problem that lingers on becomes bigger and the feelings surrounding it always get magnified, and we realize that. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the ILA's great, I can do anything attitude. I think we need to change it. I think we need to say we can do anything safely. Too many ILA workers are putting themselves at risk. Too many tragedies are happening. 8 fatalities since 2016. It is up to us, the leaders in this room, to make sure that the women and men who work for us get home every day to their families. Make sure your people do not get complacent. What we do is dangerous. Make sure they are trained, and make sure we do not take fatal chances and cut fatal corners. In closing, I would like to leave you with this. 2024 will be here before we know it. Keep being productive as you can. Settle all your differences as they happen. Don't let the cargo slow down. We need to get the right people at the right place at the right time, to dovetail on what everybody else was saying. Theodore Roosevelt said the most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Work on your local relationships, start trusting each other and working together. With all the changes our industry is seeing, the one constant is that it's a relationship-based, and our ability to work together is the foundation for our success. Thank you.